Hello, hello, hello. Yes, we're back. This is F1 2017. Yes, what I can't remember. We didn't do F1 2016 last week. And I can't remember what we were doing last week. Or did we do F1 2016 last week? Let me just look this while I've got nobody watching. Let me just have a look at YouTube and see when we did do the last upload on F1 2016 in the manor. That's it, we did the tier maker last week. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've done this series. But yes, and this series has actually taken a couple of week break, I think, because next week, obviously Bahrain. So I think I'm doing the last of first challenge if I can get the mods done in time that I need for that. And then also, I might do the last of first challenge live actually on Twitch. I haven't yet decided about that. And then also, what else is going to happen? Oh yes, there's an F1 2020 bugs glitches video coming as well in a couple of weeks as well. So that's of course going to take that, and also I've got to launch the F1E mod as well, and I've also got to find time to finish that off because it's not. Although the liveries are pretty much done, I want a little bit of tinkering left to do with the team wear, and also I haven't done anything with the performance yet. I need to go through testing for that. So it might be a few weeks away, which is annoying because obviously I've got one thing on my mind, that F1 2021 is all of a sudden going to come out and I'm going to have no time to play it to finish the series, although I have got the Easter weekend coming up. But yes, enough about that. Let's debut this series then. So hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the Phoenix84 Play series, where we play, well, we're currently playing through the old F1 games, but also play some other related F1 games. If you've got a game that you particularly actually want to see, because we're coming of course to the end of playing our Codemasters lot, then let me know in the comments below, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're closing in on 500 subscribers as well. That is the next target for me. So yes, if you haven't yet subscribed, then please do. It massively helps me out in sustaining the channel. Also, we're playing F1 2017 today. I'm just remembering these shots are actually the best that we've had on an F1 game that isn't, well, no, I would say the best that Codemasters have ever come, and these look absolutely fantastic. I mean, this one's a little bit dull, but this one with the Kvyat on in the Toro Rosso, McLaren, yeah, looks nice. The Ferrari looks nice. This looks like with a Renault, and is that a Sauber? I can't remember. It's been that long. So yes, let's manage our driver. We've got, oh good lord, I've still got, we're loaded, we've got our F1 2017 one. I don't know where our old driver's gone. We might as well create a new one. We had, this was the day we could create, I don't know if you can create you can have multiple drivers in F1 2020, but it's not that easy. This is actually an actual fact that this would be this menu is actually a lot easier to use than in F1 2020, because in F1 2020 you have to fiddle about with the drivers and then you have to assign them to a role. This, it just tells you where it is, what you're doing, and then Bob's your uncle. We're going to create a new driver because we were definitely not in Season 1, Round 1 in Australia. For those of you who remember the original Career Mode series, fair play for sticking about all these years. I don't know why we were... Final Fantasy F1 as well, for those of you who remember that as well. Again. And then F1 2018, which might be a mod, so... we're going to go for a new career. One. So obviously the avatars, most of these are still the same that they've been right through to the modern day. They've added a few more faces, but I think hopefully with EA we're going to get that full customization thing that they've been having with their career modes in FIFA and whatnot, where you can customize your own character as opposed to just picking any old bloke, like this for example. Helmets, pretty much the same from F1 2016. The exception is they added these design helmets. They actually got designers to actually go and design helmets. So these were the competition winners basically. It's such a shame that these helmets aren't in F1 anymore. They don't basically allow the community to submit their submissions so that people can then go and download it as part of the podium pass. That's such a shame. I can't remember which one we actually had. I think everyone still went for this one back in F1 2017, if I remember rightly. I think I went for this one just to be something different, but I think we're going to fancy I don't know, let's go for, I mean this one actually looks quite nice, so we'll go for that one. Driver number. Still, even though we're going to be playing this player 1, enter your first name, player. Tell you what, change it up. Player Uno. There we go. Player Uno, there he is. I mean, that helmet does look quite nice and probably better than half of the, well, most of the podium pass ones that they've actually got. So yes, obviously, we've got career, Grand Prix mode, multiplayer, time trial, the event as well, because of course this was the game that had F1 esports for the very first time as well, and championships, where you could unlock the invitational events, which would basically these would unlock as soon as you pick them in career. You also had those short tracks appear for the first time, which they haven't appeared. But yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the championships that are in the current game are still these ones that are in F1 2017, maybe tweaked slightly to input modern cars and the classic cars that they've added since F1 2016. So we got obviously we still got team selection, no F2 yet. Now I started this career mode at Toro Rosso all those years ago. Well, actually, who should we drive for? This, of course, was the year that McLaren and Honda were dreadful, and also I think this career mode was glitched to begin with because the upgrades for McLaren Honda weren't applying to your teammate. But yes, I think the best looking car this year though. This was the debut of the pink Force India. It was definitely one of the better looking cars. Haas had was actually not a great year for Haas. Down at the bottom, Toro Rosso, Renault. I can't remember if they had fired Palmer. No, they had fired Palmer. No, they fired Palmer halfway through. Correction. This series, and replaced him with Sainz, because to be fair, he was woeful. I think I remember rightly. He crashed. He went off in the gravel on his way to the track, and everybody laughed at him. So yeah, then also we got Mercedes, Ferrari. These were still painful times. They were different painful times for Ferrari, because of course this was the agonising times where Ferrari came close to winning. I think though, if you have to consider Ferrari, Ferrari would rather be close to winning than where they are now. Teammate, I think we might as well go for Perez because Ocon got fired anyway. I don't remember what settings we had. What had this on? We might as well go with one shot qualifying. We'll go for 25% race. We are also going to be doing a time trial around Malaysia. I think we'll go for our old. Now, obviously, this also had the AI driver slider for the very first time. Went all the way up to 110, which is still the AI level. Still hasn't changed it now. Obviously, nowadays I like to run 98. I don't think in driver career mode in 2020 I'm not quite that high because of the terrible car. I think though I ran something around 89 in F1 2017 because my drivability was worse back then. Vehicle damage simulation, safety car on, formation lap, that was back there, and then brake assist. Yeah, I think that was it. Let's go. Look at this cutscenes. F1 2020 doesn't have this. There's VJ Malley, he's behind bars, isn't he? Or in hiding or whatever.
Yes, and I respect that. But my client has a championship.
Yeah, she's on the phone. She's upgraded herself from F1 2016. She's got herself an office now.
Anyway, thanks for coming by on such short notice. I just needed to cover a couple of quick things with you. Firstly, as requested, is a copy of your contract. It's a rolling deal. However, the team reserves right of termination if you fail to meet performance.
There's the fake contract. I mean, they did give her an office back, by the way, back in F1 2019. But this is the last we're going to see of Emma in our office, because, I mean, it'd be nice if they used the office more, and also the office in F1 2020 is pretty much non-existent until apart from the end of each season, and it just looks so. It looks like it's some cupboard as opposed to that's a proper nice office. But anyway, we've got the same message from management. We've got a bit of an upgrade to the hospitality suite, and for me, which is why this is the title of the video, this is the best paddock. Yes, although we have got those cutscenes from F1 2019, it doesn't beat having the hospitality suite compared to that horrible workstation. We're outside in the sunshine. We've got a backdrop, and this backdrop out here will change depending on which track we are, which I can show you. The weather's nice. I mean, the weather does change as well every now and again, but yes, it's quite nice. And we got the laptop back. Notice the special laptop covers have gone. So that's the only thing. Now the laptop hasn't really changed all that much. We've got vehicle management, which is this has obviously been upgraded as per obviously we've got one more of each and two more energy store and control electronics, because they just in this first year of everything they just gave us 4 each basically. Obviously we've also we've got gearboxes as well, so to be fair, what they've done R&D side for this game hasn't actually changed that much, and the cutscenes related to R&D, well, you're gonna see. We've got no choice other than to go to practice 1, so let's go. I remember I can't show you that intro because I remember the FOM copyright as well, and I think if I remember rightly, I have to skip the introduction as well at some point because of this. I mean, these cutscenes are quite nice as well to intro, and they're pretty much the same, except the fact they don't have anybody talking in practice anymore and qualifying. Okay, that's enough of that lot. Look at this beautiful car though, the best of the Pink Panthers that we've ever had. Set up. Oh, we still got the iPad, and it's not on the thing anymore. Wow. Okay. Well, we haven't got very many setups.
Remember about this circuit. The most important braking zone is probably the penultimate corner, T15. It's a very tight left-hander. You will understeer if you take liberties with it, so be careful.
Well, there was 2017 Jeff. A little bit duller than his modern counterpart. We're just going to go and have a flying lap There's no point doing it in the practice programs. They haven't. The only one that's changed anyway from those practice programs is ERS, because obviously ERS management got added. But I mean, if you think about it, the heads-up display. I mean, that was a nice corner. Obviously, new regulations, so I'm more used to these cars than in F1 2016, where we struggled a couple of weeks ago. It's just a nice Friday afternoon drive here at Melbourne. Preparation, of course. Next week we're going to have the next Friday afternoon will be practice as we go through into the middle sector. This feels nice. This feels like the handling model from F1 2020, but a little bit. I want to say it's obviously been refined, probably, but it feels okay. And let's go and have a look at the replay. And oh yes, so okay, I'll show you the replay first. Obviously, we've got the shark fins, which nobody liked, but this was. I'm going to show you a feature in a moment that was PC only back in 2017. If you're an Xbox or a console player, look at this. Say, hold on, let me just rewind a bit so we're not under the shadow. Look at this. Welcome to photo mode. This made every single content creator's life a lot easier, because no longer did you have to take print screenshots from the capture device or from in-game. Depth of field mode actually worked on this game, which is nice. I think they added the added photo mode later on. You can see here we have a particular sponsor. This was, of course, you might recognise Race Force India's test driver at the time, Nikita Mazepin. So that's why that's on the car. Obviously, Daddy Mazepin, I think, tried to buy the team when they went bankrupt, and I think he's still trying to buy the team. He hasn't. He's still sulking. But yeah, this is the best of the Pink Panthers for me personally. The number was best of all. Obviously, we think about it, the rear wing is pretty much blank, but other than that, if you look at this. If you look at this point forwards, imagine this skin on a F1 2020 car. It'd actually look quite nice. And trying to get those bubbles onto a 2020 car would be an absolute nightmare unless you use the FOM's sashi. But yes, who else is out? We've got Verstappen wearing a red helmet. I'm pretty sure he's reused that helmet, like Brazil. We've got Hamilton out. Of course, they had a flag on the Mercedes logo. That's Kvyat, although they used Devon Butler's helmet by the looks of it. And we got Alonso, our teammate Perez as well, and then ourselves out on track. Yes. Gone a bit wide there. That's just a pad thing. The pad side of life here. As Kvyat's gone faster than Verstappen. That's something to be expected with super soft tyres. We haven't yet got to the ridiculous era yet of the hyper soft, ultra soft, super extra duper soft, and whatever then is.
Fuel is marginal. We're close to using up the load. Pit in within 2 laps.
Oh, they still haven't changed that. I'm pretty sure they still got that line. I wish they wouldn't. It's better through turn 1 he improved, as Lewis Hamilton goes faster than Kvyat. 2017, Rosberg retired as well this year, as we're just going to track extend. And we've lost our advantage. Oh well. At least it tells you the gap to first place now, unlike in F1 2020, where you just get the gap to 19th place or some random place. Whoever's 2 places above you, or if you're on your first lap, it'll be some random like 19th place, or won't even tell you, which is really frustrating, I find sometimes, as we've gone wide. And I think that's enough practice. Yeah, no, that was I meant to do that. Obviously, still got this flashback with the player Uno getting out of the car. But yeah, other than that,
that's it for practice then. We'll see you again soon.
I mean, not bad. Slauber, of course, was slow, but that they were slow this year, to be fair. Verline actually did quite well to get some points, never mind where they were, because the only team that was slower than them, the only team that was slower than McLaren. This is the cutscene I was referring to earlier about R&D, and it's a beautiful cutscene that should be in F1 2021.
So I have to spend more time checking out reports and less time hunting you down in the hospitality suite. To that end. Sorry, just a sec.
Yep, this is the point that he answers the phone.
I'm in the middle of something. Okay. Right.
All those fake data.
As I was saying, we've set up a desk for you in front of me. You can get onto the network from your laptop, so make sure to check the R&D screen regularly. And let us know how you want to use the data you collected over the weekend for practice reports. Also, bear in mind that the news from the factory won't always be good. Sometimes tests fail, like you've seen just now. When that happens, we have to divert additional.
So yes, R&D took a big step forwards this year. Obviously, resource points we got 2,500, plus more. Yes, this is the one and only time that this little caravan or lorry thing actually makes an appearance in the F1 game. Now, this wasn't used for every time. You'd only turn up here if an R&D failed, basically, after the first time, which I always thought was a shame. They should really be discussing R&D. But yes, R&D, you can see, it's pretty much, apart from obviously they added the fog, that basically means you couldn't see all of the R&D, and also they've added like the each individual departments where you rank, where the team ranks. Apart from all that, and also just ignore we've also got the perks which you'd earn as well. These things have sort of gone. Driver perks as well, and part of the R&D. So R&D this is pretty much how R&D looks nowadays. So yes, you can see. Oh no, we can see each of the other teams here. You can see that obviously, and also you've got the quality controls which disappeared in after F1 2020, although they are they're part of the HQs now. So, but again, as I said, the HQ obviously needs a lot of work. So, one on the Sashi, because we're not bad actually, was 4th best on the Sashi, very poor on the Aero, and we'll develop one of that. And we've locked on an achievement for Chris Knows Best. So yes, that's where you lie on the Aero. We've obviously got behind Williams, which is that bad. They didn't show you really engine wise, obviously level, considering the fact that we're there. Honda, woeful, so, and you can see the progress history. So it looks, apart from obviously they've adjusted the user interface to fit whatever game that is, which they do anyway from year, it looks pretty much like the base of it hasn't changed since F1 2017. Reputation level, I forgot about this. This needs to be brought back. Basically, you'd earn reputation based on how you live with the team. Now, obviously, it was only in this team this year, but again, obviously, you got the teams that are most interested in you, which are Williams, Renault, and Sauber at the moment. Again, I'd love to see this come back and build something on relationships as well. We've got somebody who's managed to get a career mode score as well, and obviously you still got these seasons. But yeah, this is pretty much how the workstation is now, apart from the reputation level, which is gone, and then maybe the news feed, which, to be fair, that could be moved, and obviously they've added emails back. So yes, let's skip to practice 2, where and after that we're going to do this advanced qualifying, because we don't need to do any more.
Interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves.
But yeah, I mean, I do think that with F1 2017 they could have built on it with the hospitality suite, and then they could have built in the interviews and the other stuff on top of that, but they decided not to do that. And we got this.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay?
You see, I prefer, even though that's the same cutscene from F1 2016, I prefer seeing a cutscene like this. Maybe not every time, but some of the times, seeing a cutscene like this rather than what we have nowadays. Obviously, it's still your teammate. We've still got voicemail. We're downstairs. I think there are some creepy people looking in at us. We're just going to ignore them, and yes, we're going to go to qualifying, the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Melbourne. We're qualifying for the
Ultra softs, let's go. Into turn 1, Mercedes. Of course, this was the year where Ocon met Perez. Down to P8 now, but to be fair, keep hitting the corners. Come on. No, gone wide. Oh, we're going to have to do a flashback, otherwise we're going to get moaned at by Emma. I loved that cutscene from taking the flashback, by the way. It was one of the better ones that we got nowadays. It's just terrible, basically. On there, we're P8. I mean, not bad. This is our first race, and I don't even know what setup we've got on the car. Actually, I didn't even look at the setup. I just went with it. Raikkonen has gone up. Raikkonen was OP in this game. Literally everybody's thing. Oh, that's the replay. We've also got the introduction of max fuel for qualifying, which should be like a party mode. So yeah, they've done a lot of work. They did a lot of work with this game, and that's going to be another flashback. Yeah, they did a lot of work for this game in terms of R&D, and we're still seeing it now, because I mean, I probably need a refresh for F1 2021 maybe, but considering the fact we've had the same, come on, we're just going to have to firm it. No. Same corner. Through here. Oh, we're not gonna. That's the best exit I can get out of that corner. Also, what was that corner? Why are we down in 13th? 14th? Okay, top 10, come on. I'll take a top 10. I've gone wide. It's going to be 12th. Raikkonen, the OP man, has taken pole.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a
So we failed our objective, but at least we have an objective, unlike what we have nowadays, which is just you try your best and then you still get insulted.
uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So yes, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Bottas. I mean, that was pretty much the order of things. Ricciardo in his last year at Red Bull, no, penultimate year Red Bull, excuse me. We've been out qualified by McLaren Honda. I think that just says it all, really. Okay, let's go to the grid then. Okay, we're up to 71. I mean, that's not going to help. We've got rivalry, and we're 2-1 down. Team approval has gone down for Williams, but obviously Sauber. Of course, Williams was still. Well, this was their decline, really. I mean, Sauber, of course, would take anyone at this moment in time. What's the session for the race? Yes, come on. Finished the race in 9th, beat Perez, and they want 7th or above in the championship. That's very bold there from Vijay Mallya. But yes, let's go to the race. Can't show that. I can't show that either because
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
due to copyright, because everybody get copyrighted, which is why we don't see less official. I mean, obviously FOM are still copywriting YouTubers, streamers left, right and centre. It's going to be a one-stop 25% race. It's nice and sunny, which is good. Can't remember how much fuel to put in, but yeah, I mean, this screen hasn't changed at all, apart from maybe, I mean, they sorted out the tyre wear. It's not as quite as ridiculous as it was in F1 2016, but it's pretty much as it is now. Oh, formation lap. Who left this on? Should we get ourselves disqualified from the formation lap? It's not going to let me. Hang on. Oh, hang on. No. Not that. Come on, go back. Thank you. Not that one. Skip formation up. There we go. We don't need to stroll around at 5 miles an hour. I know it was good for you intros, which is why it was on back then, but 5 lights anyway, and away we go. And it's well, it's a slow start, I must say. Alonso on the super softs are going to dive down the inside. Sainz and Kvyat going side by side for into turn 1. We're going to try and game on Kvyat. We've got no overtake mode that we've got in like F1 2020. We're just going to dive it down the inside. Lucky not to get contact with Ricardo. Grosjean's upper inside. What's he doing up inside the top 10? He shouldn't be anywhere near. We've forced Grosjean out and up into P7. So obviously they are still very bad at being dive bombed left, right and centre. And we've managed to, well, we're getting ahead of Grosjean now and up into P7. Let's just double check and see who is in the lead. It is Hamilton. What is this camera view? I mean, the camera views as well still are still broken from F1 2017. Yeah, this is Hamilton from Raikkonen. To be fair, that's to be escaped from Vettel, Bottas, Verstappen, and then Ricardo, and then ourselves is the top order, and then Grosjean is just hanging on. I expect the top 6 to now disappear basically in this race. I mean, to be fair, they were the fastest cars. We've gone wide again at that corner. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's the setup. Grosjean's closed up to us. Perez is having a go. We're going to go defensive on Grosjean, keep the inside, and retain P7. Oh, on the gravel there. I think we've got far too much downforce on front downforce. We'll lower it in the pit stop to 6. Again, I don't know what setup I've got on. I've just literally put whatever setup I had created that was on the Steam server from F1 back in whatever played this game last, 2018. And how times have changed. There's Grosjean now is falling back from us, to be fair. On purple, I mean, still going purple in sector 1. Obviously it doesn't show you the dynamic splits anymore. You only get like you do in F1 2020, you only get the dynamic splits at each sector. So again, they have made improvements to the F1 game like this, but then they've also taken features away, like the hospitality suite, like the team objectives for a driver career mode would be so useful, especially when they want to know us what to qualify. Because I think what I think is a good qualifying might not actually be doing, it might be, especially if you've got like driver acclaim, it might be letting your driver acclaim go down basically. So yes, we've completed 2 laps. Grosjean is still with us, half a second behind. it looks like it's 2 Ferraris and 2 Red Bulls at the front, because of course Rosberg retired this year, and so Vettel went for the front. Obviously, then obviously 2018 Germany, as we're down 2 tenths through that first sector. What's the tyre wear like? Still no, the carcass temperatures aren't a thing. Obviously the tyres really don't overheat on this game compared to, as I've gone wide, to F1 2020, so that's another improvement. But we'll see, as Grosjean now is getting coming back at us with the traction. That's still a thing in F1 2020 where you can have traction. Again, that corner. No, we're gonna. We've closed the gap, and he's tried, and we've ended up in the wall. So we're just going to use a flash back there. 9 tenths off. Okay, well. So we're going to go defensive on Grosjean. And retain P7 again. To be fair, why did Pirelli decide to go with the Ultra Softs? I mean, not only that, they created the super hard tyres. We're catching up to Ricardo. Are we gaining on Ricardo? I don't know. But anyway, they created the super hard tyre, which, if it turned out, it didn't actually get used to any of the tracks. And the hard tyre, which was a nice blue, I mean, it was the similar blue to the wet tyre, so Crofty probably got confused about it, which is why the Sky probably complained. The other fact, fuel, we need to watch that. We can't go rich in Sector 3 anymore.
Okay, some information on signs. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Yep, and if we actually go... Now, this is the most annoying thing, because you will go to Science. Where is Science? Here he is. And he will be looking at you. Just no puffers. There's no indication whatsoever that there's anything actually wrong on the dash or anything with Science. Which I always found annoying. As Perez out, we defend from Grosjean. Perez is going to have a look around the outside of Grosjean. We'll get a replay of that in just a moment. As we cut the grass there, let's get a replay of that. So yeah, we defended the inside, and then Perez tried to go around the outside of Grosjean. But then he has to settle to the inside, can't really make it around that corner, otherwise he'll end up in the gravel, and has to settle down once again for P9. Will be, when's our pit stop? Oh, there it is. Lap 6. Again, they have obviously made changes to the HUD as well, but if you think about it, the HUD is pretty much the same. Don't want to get caught on that curb, please don't. To be fair, Grosjean's actually doing the back not that bad for the Haas. I mean, if you're considering where the Haas is nowadays, and where they have been, challenging for the top 6 at times, then they need to do better, and it doesn't look like they're going to be doing any better in 2021 because they're not doing any development on the car.
Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap. There's
Was it the end of this lap? No, it's not the end of this lap. I remember one of these games, if you didn't press box this lap, it would actually delay. You'd actually get a delayed pit stop time compared to what it is. We've dropped off Ricardo now.
Okay, you are currently 2 places above our objective, 2 places ahead of our objective.
Yeah, I can see that. You don't need to point it out to us, Jeff. Where we will be there at the end of the race, I don't know. I think that should be. You don't really see engineers coming up. Oh yeah, you're 2 places above your objective, Sergio, or whoever it would be. So obviously they've taken that out, but I still think they need objectives in, because especially for you wouldn't have it in my team obviously, because you, the driver, you could set objectives for your teammate. That would be quite nice, something to do. But at the same time, we are going to go rich in sector 3 because we're coming in this lap.
Understood. Stopping this lap. Our best lap so far is a 1:29.0.
Now, where's that? We haven't.
The drivers we're racing are...
Oh, what on earth happened there?
Engine off.
So, I got on the gravel. Hang on. So I'm steering left here. You can see. What do the front tyres do? Oh yeah, we're not going to steer. We're not going to steer.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
There's the thing. That command.
One stop today. 1 stop left in our strategy. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open.
We've got to engage the pit limiter. And it's not going to let... Okay, we'll talk to Jeff afterwards. I've been held in the pits. 2.6 is probably the same, and Grosjean has jumped us. Well done, Force India. Well done. Okay, I'm going to tell Jeff to shut up again, because let's be honest,
Confirmed.
we just need to get the head down, because Grosjean's now jumped us. We've got hopefully he'll get shoved out. We're on the super softs. Not to be confused if you've only recently started following F1. With the soft tyres, obviously we had different tyre compounds up to 2019.
Grosjean ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 1.8 seconds. They're on fresh super softs.
It's not helpful. 1.8 seconds to Grosjean. We're going to have to push this.
Sergio is in the pits. Sergio has pitted.
Oh, Grosjean's been held up. Who's at the front of this queue? Is it a Sauber or a McLaren Honda? It's a Williams. It's a Stroll. Although Stroll did get there. Then there's a McLaren Honda and a Sauber. I mean, you've got all the three. There we go. The three amigos: the McLaren Honda, the Sauber, and the Williams car all together. There, hanging about on the track because they know they're slow. As Grosjean is sort of caught in a train here. I'm going to take a flashback so we can actually be closer to effect an overtake on Grosjean. We have to brake because they're going so slowly, but then now look at this, we're actually not any closer. Oh well. Got DRS, there's Magnussen. Oh, I think that's going to be a flashback, don't you? Because I'm sure you would have got damage. DRS. Somehow Magnussen's come out ahead of Ricciardo. Magnussen wasn't even anywhere near us. How has he come out the pits ahead of us? Big dive on Ricciardo. He tried to turn in on us, so we're just going to block him out. Grosjean's going to have Ricciardo now. So here's a replay. You can see we've still got the likes of Sauber up ahead. We're trying to get on Grosjean. We're just going to dive down the inside of Ricciardo. We tried to turn in, but we were, of course, we're going a little bit too straight there. It allows Grosjean to get and have a look on Ricciardo. And I think Ricciardo has gone very aggressive there. So yeah, that was a bit my fault. And then he's going to get aggressive, just as aggressive as I was with Ricciardo. Oh yeah, Grosjean was lucky not to be in the wall with that. It's Ericsson. Let's see if we can get Magnussen as well now. Ricciardo's sort of fallen down. Magnussen. Big dive, big dive. Thank you. Give him the space. Come on. We have to go rich mix if we want to get this move done. I'm going to cut across him. Nice overtake. Get a quick replay of that. See where everybody is as well. So Hulkenberg in the Renault's yet to stop, as is Alonso, Sainz, and Palmer are next up the road, and now we've got the likes. Yeah, Magnussen came out of nowhere. Perez is up the road, so he's jumped us. Perez, he's ahead of the likes of Verline, Van Dorn, Ericsson. And Ericsson is next up for us. Ricciardo, Magnussen's coming back at us. We're going to defend the inside, as we have done so far against both Hasses, and we're going to move up. But I think we would have made net gains because we're ahead of Ricciardo now. So we'll see what happens when everybody moves to the stoppers. Ericsson is still not coming in. He started on those super soft tyres, and this is just going to be an easy overtake. We're going to even cut back to the racing line. So an easy overtake there up into P12. Some people are still yet to stop. Tyre like the tyre is beautiful. At the moment 7% these tyres are in their optimal range, which is, again, obviously we haven't got really to think about the tyre carcass temperature like we do in modern F1 games. Oh, gone wide. Catching up to Van Dorn now, who doesn't race anymore in Formula 1. We've got loads of people in the pits, so who's that? That's Hulkenberg coming in the pits. We're moved up into 10th place. So Hulkenberg has again come out now. Ricardo's lost out big time. Again, being held in the pits. Also, you don't have that in my team really, because you're at the end of the pit lane. Oh my goodness! Did you see that sausage curb? That must be a glitch, because I couldn't. I wanted to track it down. I have the power to go over that sausage curb. Van Dorn up to? He's going defensive. What are you doing, mate? You're not close enough to make a dive. Big dive. Thank you, Stoffel, up into P9. Next up is Pascal, Formula E Porsche driver now. Well, two Formula E drivers, because we've got Van Dorn as well. A bit wide. Van Dorn's going to come back. We better go into a rich mix to fend off Hulkenberg's coming as well. Hulkenberg is going to dive up the inside of Van Dorn, and Van Dorn has absolutely no chance. Oh, they got wide. Hulkenberg is going to be right up our chuff now with that mistake. Fortunately though, somebody's retiring. Hang on. Somebody is going slow. It's Alonso. Alonso is going slowly. GP2 engine. GP2 engine. Try and defend from Hulkenberg and go stand abreast through turn 1. Out for turn 2. Take the Jacques Villeneuve line. There's Hulkenberg closer. He's not close to getting the dive on. Up into P7. Perez is up into P6. He's had a madness in the second half. Hulkenberg though is on the ultra soft, so see, we'll be able to ride over that curb that time. Maybe there's a certain point. We've gone deep again. It's going to Hulkenberg, because we were trying to get a break away from Hulkenberg. Use the our superior engine. We still got Ricardo in P10 for Red Bull, but Hulkenberg is closing in. He's getting closer, Hulkenberg. We might have to go defensive here. Switch to the inside to defensive on Hulkenberg. I mean, Perez is so far up the road. That's how bad the undercut was. There's somebody else in the pits. Hopefully we can get up to P6 here. 5th and 6th for Force India. Who is that in the pits? No, it's a lapped car. Who is that in the pits? Let's have a look. Oh, Alonso. He had a puncture. Oh, well, this is something you don't see in F1 2020. I'm sorry, I thought he was out the race. He was going that slow. So he has a puncture. You don't see that in F1 2020 because they don't have AI punches. But he's been surfaced, so he's back out. I have to take apologies to the Honda people because their GP2 engine is still working. Way. Palmer's out. Let's go and have a look at Palmer. Where is Palmer anyway? There's Hulkenberg. No, it's not going to let me show Palmer. Well, to be fair, I mean, Joe Leon did get fired this year, and now is now a member on Radio 5 Live, working for the BBC, just like his dad did back in the 1990s. To be fair, though, Hulkenberg and Sainz, how disappointing that lineup was, because yes, they got, was it P5, P4 or something like that in the championship that year. We were expecting like them lot to both get podiums and like be consistently a bit like where Force India were. As we've gone wide, that's going to be a flashback, because if Hulkenberg wants to get past, he's got to do it with his style, to be fair. No, but we all thought that Hulkenberg and Sainz would be okay. They'll be able to close the gap on Ferrari, or Red Bull rather, because Red Bull were the third slowest car. There is Palmer. He's parked up there. I mean, he hasn't been alerted down on the street circuit. But yeah, we all thought that Hulkenberg and Sainz would literally take take Renault to where they needed to be next, and the team have now changed their driver lineup to Ocon and Alonso, and they're still nowhere near where they want to be at the front, leading the races with where Mercedes are, which is probably one of the reasons why Ricciardo has made that switch to McLaren this year. It's because Renault. I was surprised anyway when he did make that move, because Renault, when he did make that move and it was him and Hulkenberg again, that was also said, okay, they've got fourth place, can they then go and get better than Red Bull? Red Bull were there for taking, because they weren't, especially the fact that I'm not going to say downturn, but Gasly had that torrid time at Red Bull, and of course now he's a very good driver at AlphaTauri, where he's happy at AlphaTauri. I'm sure he will move on to a better car for 2022, just like George Russell will. If Verstappen leaves, Gasly and Russell isn't a bad lineup, I would say, if Verstappen moves to Mercedes. That's all I'm going to say. It would ultimately depend on how that car is, because in the hands of Perez in pre-season it looks good, but whether or not he'll be able to take that challenge to the future, I'll have to wait and see. And obviously Perez is one of the older drivers on the grid. He's been in Formula 1 for 10 years, so anyway, back to the race. We're still defending from ahead of Hulkenberg. This is the final lap. Perez is walked away in the other racing point. So that's a shame that Perez, obviously, we got held in the pits, which obviously affects and likely to take over the slower cars there, the likes of Ericsson, Magnussen and co, who are still slowing down. Lewis Hamilton has won this Grand Prix. I think if I remember rightly, back to bear in mind this is almost 4 years ago now. Hamilton won like the first 3 oh dear, this is going to be trouble. This is going to be okay. Never mind. That's going to be a flashback. But yeah, Hamilton would win the first like 2 or 3 races, and then Raikkonen would then go on and dominate the rest of the season. Hulkenberg, though, is getting closer. Is he going to do one of those last scarf dives that they do on F1 2020? Goes to the outside. We're going to defend the outside from Hulkenberg. He tries to switch back Hulkenberg. Rare to see an AI try a switchback move, but it doesn't work out for him. We retain P7 coming through into the final corners then. And it looks like, unless I bottle out the final corner, which I don't, it's going to be on debut for Force India. I'll definitely take P7. Especially the fact we have our 2020 qualifying for 6th and 7th though for Force India. I mean, if I had that every time, then they would be good. So now I'm going to wait the podium. There's Toto Wolff on the podium. The podium celebration hasn't changed since F1 2015. Apart from obviously you've got your customizable ones now, as opposed to that. So yes, Hamilton won from Raikkonen. Those two were literally at the top of the championship. Vettel was not where he should be. 16 seconds. It wasn't realistic. Vettel's AI was a bit like what Lando Norris's AI is in there. And then obviously Verstappen. Ricciardo, he was close to his teammate, and then he got stuck in the pits, and then he got stuck behind us. And Hulkenberg and Magnussen come from outside the top 10 to get points. And outside the top 10 we've got some down at the bottom we've got Williams, Saubers, McLaren. There's a couple of Toro Rossos because they weren't, to be fair, they got into the top 10, so should have done a little bit better, but obviously fell away. So in terms of the standings, not that it really matters because this is the only video we're doing, but we're third. They had a Red Bull, but obviously Red Bull will probably come back. I did actually win the championship with Red Bull in the second season, the only Drivers' World Championship that I ever won on my YouTube channel. But yes, let's advance. Just got to wait for this loading screen, which looks like, there we go. Resource points 196 we're up to now. You can see it's going to be a few things. Rivalry 6-3 to Perez, but we are winning team approval. We failed to beat Sergio Perez though, which lost us 3. Ouch. But we've gained traction with Williams, Renault, Toro Rosso, Haas, McLaren and Sauber. So introduction to career score. This was the last career mode I think to have career mode score. I can't remember where my career mode score is. Classic cars, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to let you drive some of his cars.
Well, not quite per se. You know, I'd really rather be down there racing them myself, to be honest. I'm actually quite handy behind the wheel. It's the downforce, those lateral G's, you know. So I need a pro. So when you come in, we run in a bunch of events around.
We meet more of these characters. Maybe like personal sponsors as well in F1 2020. Bring him back. Bring this character back. They probably still got his face scan anyway.
Consider this a formal invitation.
Yeah, I do think that's literally the only person that we've seen. So we've got choose your preference, which we had to choose a classic car. We might as well go and test it out because they haven't changed. So we'll go on the Williams because it's got V10 over a V8. You're performing as expected with the second driver because of course again something else that's missing from F1 2020 is the driver level that you're on in the team. So it doesn't tell you if you're the first driver, the second driver, or equal status, which I don't think was ever a thing. R&D, we can't really do much with it. You earn a lot less R&D points, but then there was no R&D resets, so this R&D would last you 10 seasons, if I remember rightly. Obviously in F1 2018 they brought in R&D resets and then obviously gave you more resource points for it, but I do think in my team you get far too many. Driver career mode though is a little bit more tougher, but I'd like to get the where in driver career mode where they make the resource points tougher. I'd love them if they could also make it so that the AI have a tougher time as well, and also more variance as well, because with the AI, because I'm still doing driver career mode up to season 5. Mercedes is still fastest from Red Bull. Silver's so short
Thank you for joining us today for one of the few
with an overtake challenge. Past 12 opponents, so we're going to see some old classic cars here. So yes, we got obviously these drivers are still in the game there, the pay drivers, and also if you do any classic cars, if you do in the invitational events in F1 2020, then they're still there to pass 1. Obviously Silver's the short layouts haven't actually changed. This should be easy. They're in McLaren, I can't remember. No, we didn't have the Senna 88 McLaren in this game because it was licensing, so I think this is the 91 Senna, or is it the 88? I can't remember, it's been that long. Up into the 15th place. Come here. Outside, lovely move. We should be able to fire past these people. Our target is 12. If we can get all of them, that would be great. But you seem to fuel isn't going to be an option, so we might as well go into rich mix. Easy overtake, up into P13. Zooming on Murray. It's going to be down the inside. Around the outside of Izumi? No, not quite. We're just going to get the power down though, and up into P11. So that's 7. We've got another 90 seconds to get the other 5. We've got closing in on Clark, and then we'll start. This is when we start getting issues. We've got Moreno up next. The C2 cars, obviously. The C3 cars, obviously, we did get added, and then they got taken away because they were only ever in F1 2019. Those early cars, which hopefully they do bring them back. But then also bring in classic tracks as well. I mean, it's not going to let me tell Jeff to it's not letting me tell Jeff to shut up. Okay. So closing in on Moreno now. I've got half a minute remaining. That's taken a minute. We're going to go around the outside, up into P9. Now we're into some different. I don't know how these are different because they look like they've got the same livery. Come on, down the inside. That's tight. We've not made it. We might as well just. I was going to take them all out. We failed, but I mean, it was a good try. I mean, obviously some of them were a bit far apart, so it took us a minute to get that last C2 car So it's a shame. He might give this. I'll give this one more go. I'm prepared to give this one go, and that's it. Now that I know the fuel isn't going to be an issue, I'm going to put it into rich mix anyway, so that we are going to be good. We're going to be good, hopefully, from the start here. Down inside of a tyre and up into 17th place. That's one. Should be easy on Kaufman. Let's make this number 2. Oh, this is a better exit than Sarri's. Down inside, up into P15. Very much Milwaukee, and up into P14 now. Almost didn't think I was going to dog it down the inside then, but did. Can we go for a move around the outside? This is going to be ambitious. No. Ambitious but rubbish, as Top Gear would say with that move. We've still got 2 minutes, and we've got almost half turn 1. We need to get this. Actually, no, we've not got half. Now we've got half. We need to get these down inside. Thank you very much. So up to 7. Now we've got 2 left of the C2 cars, and then we'll be into the C1. We've got 90 seconds left. Can we actually get anybody? Car's going slow. This is going to be an easy overtake. I'll exit, come on. I think I'm going to clip Moreno down the inside of Larson, and we've matched what we managed last time with 20 seconds to go. Okay. We're going to blow up turn 1. Oh. No. I think we're going to leave that there. That's going to be my attempt. We've got 11. We will get in there. But we're not going to dwell on it. Because there's really no point. I feel like also, when I tried on F1 2020, they don't work, basically. Gone to China. China was round 2. We won't be going around China, but to end off this stream and the video, we're going to, when it loads, we're going to go for some time trial laps around Malaysia, because obviously Malaysia has departed. So, and here you are, just like that, we're in China. backdrop has changed. There's Bernie's flight coming in, as it was joked about back then. But yeah, up here on the night, it's a nice day here in China, up here in the hospitality suite. Right, time trial, modern F1 cars. Which car should we pick? Let's go in the McLaren Honda just so we can hear that horrible noise. The McLaren Malaysia. Let's go. Obviously you got to choose the time of day as well. So you could like all the other ones are there, but we're just going to stick to midday. I don't actually have a setup. No. I can't remember what's the best setup. Anybody? We're going to view this setup and see what this I have no idea what this setup is like. 5.5. Probably want to go. Actually, no. 7.6. But that'll be fine for. Obviously, this has a lot changed. All the way to the rear. Weight redistribution. Yeah, that'll do. So here we are at Malaysia. In the McLaren Honda as well. Let's see. Oh, I've forgotten brake assist is off. So we'll restart that lap. Not bad. So here we are at Malaysia. I don't really remember too many great races around here. So we're just going to go into turn 1. Keep it on the racing line. Yes. Yeah, that's the usual line through there. Well, to be fair, we haven't gone wide at turn 1. At the midpoint of turn 1. Into turn 2, into this middle sector now. Oh, and that is a pad. That is a pad glitch. I know we've really validated our lap time, but that where it got stuck going left is why. Oh my goodness, maybe it wasn't so clever to put weight redistribution to the wall to the rear then. I thought that was a glitch, but maybe they fix it secretly without anybody actually watching, because we're just going to carry on. We've got gravel all over the camera. I'm pretty sure you don't get that effect on F1 2020. This corner was actually underrated. You just cut it. I mean, it's a bog standard hairpin, but it's actually one of the better corners. Through into the last half of the sector then. This corner Always hated it. Well, as you can see here, things in McLaren Honda are going as usual here. Obviously we've got the two back straights with the umbrellas that I used to call them. I don't actually really umbrella stands into the final corner. I always hated the pit lane entry as well because it would be a whole pit lane entry, and that's a slow time. We're hesitant there, we've lost time. Doesn't matter anyway because we're going to end up in the gravel. You want to aim for a 1:33, by the way. Something around there is actually quite a decent time. Oh, really? I'll do a couple more laps and then I need to edit this. I've lost track of time, so I need to edit this for YouTube.
Our best lap so far is a 1:56.5.
Yeah, you don't need to be depressed about it, Jeff. Nice cut, get the switchback line, get the better traction. We're still not doing better than our Ghost. We're on par. Oh, for God's sake! It's China as well. You just used to get so stuck with that corner, those two corners. And this is why I don't play China on F1 2020. It was a better rate set and then it isn't. The throttle, yes. Managed to stay on track there. We had to lift off though. Too wide in that corner, and we've 7 tenths up now into the hairpin. Correction there. No! Right, one more go. One more go. We will complete a lap on have a proper lap on this board. This is turning like Azerbaijan a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, keep it, keep it, keep it. Yes. Not invalidated. No! We made it then. Didn't need to corner cut. Curving on the exit there, not what we wanted. Oh, goodness great, we've lost 3/10. Come on, careful, yeah, 6 and... Goodness grief. I had to brake for that. Well, this isn't going to be a competitive time, but I just want something on the... I'll take anything on the board of this, right? I remember when I first did time trial on PC F1 2014, and I crawled... Oh, for goodness sake. I crawled round and set a lap time of 5, so it was Australia, and because of the corner cutting that I had, it was severe. Basically I set a lap time of 5 minutes. On obviously I'm a lot better now, but
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 56.5.
better exit. Come on! It's not invalidated, so we're just going to carry on and put it on the board. I mean, anything's better than nothing, I suppose, but... Remind me to select the Mercedes when we do this on F1 2018. And that is me giving up. So yes, if you have enjoyed, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you're watching on YouTube, follow if you're watching on Twitch if you haven't done already. But until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.